All right, we are live again today on Instagram, and we were very much happy yesterday. Did the first live on Facebook with my fellow medtechs. It was amazing. But today, it's sad. Like what's happening now with the medical technologists, the salaries are being cut, the overtime. Hi, thanks so much for joining. I'm so happy that you joined. I was just saying that it's a really sad day today in our field with medical technology. We're always working overtime and weekends and all of that. So the salaries for the medical technologists, for most of them, have been cut. The overtimes have been taken away. So it's really a difficult time for medical technologists at this time. There's different reasons that the laboratories are giving for why that is. So some of them, the patients definitely, because we get money as a lab from patients that coming from the doctors into the lab. Hey, thanks for joining. So we're discussing the reduction of salaries for medical technologists, and this message is for them. And at the end of this live, I will also share a couple of tips and tricks. I have gone through a time where I was so broke and I had to make adjustments, and I think I'm at a point where it's time to share all my what I did when I was broke and how I got out of it. You really have to be drastic. You at some point have to reevaluate from the biggest things to the smallest things. Small things like data and small things like insurance, small things like how much are you paying on your bank fees, making arrangements with the banks and all of those things. So we're definitely going to talk about it more. But right now, I just want to say to my fellow medical technologists, we truly, truly empathize with you. So I feel you, my friend. I was going through the same thing a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm so sorry. So maybe you can also share in the comments to say, what is it that you have done? How did you deal with it? Because it's not just about the money. It's also a mental thing. We also have responsibilities. We have bills to pay. And with the lockdown, it's so real. Here's how the lab works. So patients go to the doctor or they come directly to the lab. And with that, obviously, we then charge the patients for the tests that are done. And now with patients not really going out and GPs not being open for treatment, there's definitely a reduction of patients, which means there's less blood or less samples coming into the lab. And that at the end of the day means that there is less money that the companies are making, that the laboratories are making. So to pay your employees overtime at a time like this, it's absolutely also understandable what the companies are going through. I do empathize with my fellow medical technologists, but the companies are also at a really, really tough time where they cannot afford to pay the people. So at least they're still keeping most of them on the payroll, and they're not just checking them out, but it's a whole. Some labs are going as far as 25% cut in the salaries. They've taken away all the overtime. So Saturday is overtime, usually 1.5 of your hourly rate. Some labs differ. Some labs will do a 0.5, but most of them 1.5. And on a Sunday times 2, so you get double your hourly rate. And also with public holidays is also double. So if you take that away, if you're making 100 rands an hour, already that's like, it's money down the drain. So I'm really, I post quite a lot. So I posted a couple of weeks back what options are there for during the lockdown, and that included affiliate marketing. It included drop shipping as an option. So I'm gonna go and repost that also, because at that time it might have not made sense to other people, because if you're not in that situation yet, you just you have to be drastic. So let's talk about money. for medical technologists and people in general. So as a medical technologist, what I used to do is you can write articles. So say now there's COVID-19, you can write an article and you can send it through to like E2 Solutions and send them through to the labs. So you'll be able to write an article, a nice short article about 3-4 pages. I mean, I could do that in about a day. When I was writing articles, I would take a weekend, even 2 days over the weekend, and research. So you go and look for publications, and you just basically, what I used to do is also go into Wikipedia just to get a broad understanding of what the topic is. So any test, whether you're talking kidney failure, whether you are talking about ethics. My very first article was about ethics in medical, in the medical field. And ethics is also one thing that we don't have a lot of articles on. So you can definitely go and write an article. If you want me to go in more detail as to what goes into writing an article, and maybe I will share my articles that I used to write also, and we can do that. So when you write an article, you get paid 1,000 rand for the article, and the person who moderates your article gets paid 500 rands. I don't know whether the companies are going to change that. So we just send them an email. Tomorrow we will find out whether they are still accepting articles. And if that's an option, then that's something definitely you can do. So that's one thing. So the other thing that you can also do, so remember there's only 2 ways. You either increase your income or you reduce your expenses. There's only 2 ways of making money. Increase your money or reduce what you spend. So if we're talking about reducing, so you go, and I went last month and I didn't even need to. I went and cut off my DSTV subscription. I was on the compact, which was like 300-400 rands, and I took it down to an access, which is about 110 or so. I mean, you can cut it off completely and use Wi-Fi, watch Netflix, whatever else it is. But there's options. If you still want to keep your DSTV, there's other places you can cut down. Another thing is insurance. You go and call your insurance and make sure that you're not paying too high premiums. You go and you reevaluate. What I'm telling you is what I've already done, but I didn't just do it now. I did it before because I was broke myself and I needed to find ways to get out. And I also at some point took a course where I was paying 1,500 a month just to learn about money, because I thought to myself, if I can get myself out of this, I don't think I can do it on my own. I needed some form of financial education, and it was weird that I was broke, but I had to pay to learn about finance. And you sort of have to find a way to cut it on other things. So what I also did is I moved out of a very expensive house and I moved back to my apartment. And that freed up, so I needed cash flow. So that freed up so much time. This might not be the best time for you to sell your house. At that time when I was selling, it was okay. Right now you might want to just hang on, but if you really cannot and you up to your throat, up to your neck in debt, then you rather get out. But get some financial so what I'm going to give you now, just a mini disclaimer, is just my own form of training, and it's not constituted as any financial advice at all. So you can go to your own financial advisor. Hey Laura, thanks you for joining. So we're talking about what options medical technologists and other people have at this difficult time to try and make money and reduce the expenses. So we were talking about what you can reduce. If it means you have to now, you have to be humble enough to say, this is not the time to think about what are people going to think about me, what are people going to say. If your car is super expensive, get rid of it. If your phone contract is super expensive, get rid of it, get a cheaper phone. You have to find ways for you where you can cut what you're comfortable with. I had to learn to do my own nails. I do my own nails now. I used to spend 500 rands on nails. Hey, thank you so much for joining. I used to spend 500 rands on nails because I also wanted to have my manicure and pedicure done. So now I do it myself. I had to learn. I had no idea how to do that. I'm not little. You always do your own nails. Why didn't you tell me? That's a trick. So actually you can save on that. There's so many things, especially with women. We spend so much money on other things that you can cut down on. So that's definitely an area to look at. So your insurance, definitely phone your insurance and ask them for a better price. If they can't go somewhere else. Thanks, Laura. Go somewhere else. Phone your bank, make arrangements. I mean, I was surprised by my own bank. So there's different banks that I have, and others were not so willing to assist at the time. They're like, no, you have to pay it like this, da da da. And other banks were so much more accommodating. At some point, I had one lady where I'm like, look, I can't, and I had to make like arrangements every other month. She was like, call us every month and then we can just keep moving, and then you can pay whatever you can afford at this time. And then the others were saying, okay, we can only give you 2 months, or others were saying 3 months. At some point, a friend of mine said to me, they can give you 6 months. So I picked up the phone and I phoned them. I'm like, okay, can I please just make an arrangement for 6 months? And I did. At some point, I phoned again. I don't know whether this is standard. I found another lady and she said to me, so how much can you afford? I'm like, 1,000 rand on this one, like max. She's like, okay, it's fine. You have 12 months to pay, and because at that time it was actually 12,000 rand that was due. And she's like, no, so I'll give you, then just make sure that you pay every month. Don't skip. If you do skip, unfortunately, we're going to have to take legal steps. So I've always shared my story about how I was broke and how I got out. It's on my blog, it's on my LinkedIn profile. I've shared it on my social media. So I'm not afraid to say that I was broke and this is what happened to me, because I feel like that is a topic that is so sensitive that people don't want to talk about it. People are drowning in debt. People don't want to be seen like that. People want to keep up with the Joneses, keep up with the Kardashians. But you know what? We're living in a real place where if you can afford it, then great. And one thing that I also learned while I was doing this course of finance, trying to get myself out of debt, was that there's nothing wrong with having expensive taste. If there's certain things that you want, the only thing is what are you paying it with? Is it coming out of your credit card that you owe, or is it what you can do is then create an asset that's going to pay for that thing. If you say I want a Porsche, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't always have to downgrade your expensive taste, but find something, a business, a place that you can buy and then rent out that's going to be able to pay for that Porsche. So it doesn't always mean that you have to cut down on the things that you love. The one thing I also love is because I like Booty Spas, because we work so hard and we travel. Sometimes you really have to pamper yourself, otherwise you lose control. So I usually then go on to Hyperly, which used to be Groupon. This is obviously not sponsored, but I really truly love them. They have discounts, and if you have any more discount ideas, please just put them in the comments so we can share that too, and what other tips you guys are using at this point. So like I've said, reduce your expenses. So relook at your budget, look at everything. What is constant? What can you change? What can you reduce? What can you cut down on? Are you using right now, luckily, not a lot of people are commuting. So at that time, you could drive with a friend. If you are going to drive with a friend at this point in time, obviously, you guys have to wear your mask and make sure you keep each other safe. But there's so many options so we're looking at reducing your costs. If it means moving back home and getting out of that expensive place you are renting, go back home. There is so many things. Don't be afraid of what people are going to say. We are already living our lives based on what people want, what people think of us, what we should have, brows on fleek and all of that, and long sleek hair. Or there is no need for all of that. We all want to get there, and there's nothing wrong with not wanting to get there. As long as you're comfortable, the idea here is to live within your means. So there's obviously different ways that you can target your debt. There's different ways you can start with the small ones or start with the really big ones. I like to start with the small ones because I like instant gratification. So when I finish one and I close it off, I can celebrate every milestone. And the other thing you can look at is, instead of looking at debt as a really horrible thing, just try and think positively about it, and don't talk about it all the time and be like, oh, I'm in debt. We all know about the power of our tongue. We all know that we are so powerful and we can manifest anything, but just try and speak positive, try and be healthy. The mind is such a powerful thing that if all you think of is debt, you can't focus at work. You can't even enjoy the time you have with your friends, your family. You're always irritated. You get into depression. Mental health is a serious thing. We will talk about mental health in the next live. I think let's so much just do that. We will talk about that because depression is real. Like, depression is real, and at this point in time, with everybody going in and losing their jobs, getting their pay cuts and all of that, mental health is one thing that is the first thing that's going to be disrupted. But as soon as we fix that and we find ways, it's going to be so much easier. So now let's just wrap this up and talk about how you can increase your income and increase your salary. So if you have a whole house and you have rooms that you are not using, you can definitely rent out some of them and get money out of that also. So try, if you do have space, rent them out. That's definitely really nice income that you can also add to make sure, when you're having to apply maybe for a loan or something, keep your credit clear, and then you can also add it as additional income. So it's really going to help that you have some form of constant additional income. Just remember to have a contract for that, and you can be able to report that to SARS also. So that's one option that you can have. Again, increasing your income, you can start a business. So at this time, you can go onto the website and register your business and start selling. You can sell on Facebook Marketplace. I personally used Egwid, EC. I'll put it also based on the post that I've shared a couple of weeks back. So I will put them in on my post also. So Egwid, there's absolutely no affiliation with them. I just loved them. I loved their service. And it's a drop shipping website. So you don't have to touch anything in there. You can simply sell whatever it is. I used Printful. So Printful is for clothes that they print a specific design for your clothes, and people can order that online. And if you upgrade, you can also sell on Facebook, on Instagram, on Amazon, and all of that. The other thing you can do is, as a medical technologist, you can write a book. Last night I just wrote, actually there was a draft already. There's so many things that the lockdown sort of pushes you to do. I've always had a draft of my ebook, and I just went and published it, and they said it will take 72 hours for review. So we will see what they say. It's a really short book, just to explain to people what medical technology is, because that's something I'm really passionate about. And it's just very nice and short, very short. I know we have very short attention spans, so I don't want a whole book that you have to spend a whole week reading. It's probably just the 30-minute read. Okay, so I hope when that comes out, you guys will be able to have access to it. What else? So we were talking about how to increase so if you're not into business, the other option for medical technologists that was cut off was overtime. So if you could at that time work overtime, that was definitely really good income, extra income that you could have done. So when that does come back and you are able to work overtime, or maybe you were off and somebody's off sick and they've asked you to come help, please just go in and at this time just get any extras that you can. If you find that there's someone who sells cookies or whatever and you can bake, ask that person to bake for you. You don't always have to do everything yourself. Ask that person to bake, and then you can sell it at an extra price. If somebody can only make one bucket, add to that, and then tell them to do 2 buckets, and then you can always take just a cut of it. So there's so many options that you can do. But the one other thing is, what I also did was I looked for a job. I looked for a higher paying job. At that time I was in the lab, and then now I moved to a corporate industry. So that was one thing that I did. So looking for a higher paying job, that's definitely one way of increasing your salary and making sure. So obviously with more lives, I will discuss on how you can get into the industry, where you need to apply, what websites to go on to, and the recruitment agencies that you can put your CV and list yourself on. And I emailed, and LinkedIn was one place that was so useful for me. I know there's still a lot of people that don't have profiles on LinkedIn. I know it's not a all fun site, but you know what? If you go on there and you connect with the people, you just never know. That one person might be from HR or a hiring manager or whatever. The job that I have now, I actually got through LinkedIn. And I went in and I asked the hiring manager, do you guys have a job for that? And she said, oh yeah, actually we do. I remember you. So because I went in earlier and I did an interview with them a couple of years back, and they didn't take me because they took someone internally. And so she remembered that I actually am good at chemistry and immunology. And the HR lady, unfortunately, I used to like send her an email almost every month. And she was like, oh, no, you've been sending me emails so much. So I'm not saying bug them and throw emails at them or whatever. But if you're looking for that job, pick up the phone. I used to pick up the phone and phone HR and find out what they have. I used to check on the websites. I checked LinkedIn. I can see now sometimes people just sit back and they're like, oh no, if there's a post by you guys, just let me know. No, you hunt, you look for, you don't wait for, so if you're not hungry enough. I think I was so hungry and I was tired of being broke and I was tired. I remember there was a time where I could only afford to buy one tissue roll, and my child was like, how mama, tissue one, like, and at that time that's all I could afford at that time, and I actually especially bought a 2-ply tissue paper. And I specifically remember this, so true, my friend. I specifically remember this, and I bought the 2-ply specifically because I was having visitors come in, and I was so embarrassed that they would see that I don't even have tissue. I couldn't even afford tissue at the time, and all I could get was that one. And my child was surprised because I always buy like those big packs of like 12 or 48 or 60, and she's like, mommy, one tissue. And you know what? I mean, that at that time I just broke down. I still have the slip. I keep it, and I'll post it later if I can just find it quickly. I'll post it later because that one slip for me was when I got a wake up call, and I'm like, I cannot do this to my kids. I can't be broke anymore. I picked up the phone and I phoned all these companies. I emailed them. I LinkedIn them. I went and I got in touch with recruitment agencies. I updated my CV. I read and went through YouTube like a mad person. I read books. I made sure that right now I'm helping people review their CVs, review their LinkedIn profile. It's not that I just am an expert at that. I studied it for myself so that I could help myself and my kids out. And now, you know what, I'm more than open to share that information with anyone who wants it, because I know what it's like to be in there, and I will share it anytime. I'm here. I don't know everything, and I'm always learning from everyone, and that's why I always ask for your collaboration, and because you just cannot know everything. You can't know everything, and you have to be humble enough to say, I think here I'm wrong. I was so embarrassed to have to move out of my house, sell it, and move back to my apartment. I thought, but then at that time I was like, you know what? Who am I living for? I'm the only one who is in debt. I'm the only one who can't sleep. I would rather be able to sleep in my apartment, happy. Like I'm even gaining a bit of weight. I'm gaining so much weight, and even the previous company I used to work for in 2016 was closing. And that's when I started opening my mind to other ideas of making extra income, right? Even that's when you get pushed. That's when you get pushed and you realize, because we don't have to wait for that point. You don't have to wait for that company to be closed. Not everybody's going to be an entrepreneur. Fine, we push for entrepreneurship. But if it means you have to gain and have a promotion, work twice as hard, leave home early and come back later than anyone else, if it means you have to work extra hard, do that for that time so you can get that promotion. Tell your manager that you want a promotion. Sometimes we don't even talk. I think guys are more open and they talk. Women are always so reserved, and if you're not like that, I don't want to generalize, but if you're not that kind of woman, this is just an example. Absolutely no feminism, nothing against women, but just the general women in general, they do not talk and they don't ask for raises. Men usually apply for jobs they're not even qualified for. Women will suss out that application description to say, I don't qualify here. Apply. You will never know. Apply. I can tell you the company that I was working for as an account manager, I didn't even know anything about account management. I didn't know anything about sales. I didn't know anything about the diagnostic industry. I always thought I was going to be an application specialist, which is what I am now. But I was willing to push. I was willing to learn. You won't believe I didn't even know any one of their analyzers. I had never worked on them. The only analyzers I had worked on is for the company I'm actually working on with now. That company hired me and I knew nothing because they believed in me and they loved who I was and what I represented. And apply. Don't let them reject you. Don't sit and reject yourself before applying. Apply for that job and let them be the one. And them rejecting you does not mean that you are any less. It does not mean that you don't have enough qualification. It does not mean that you're not good enough. It just means that job, that specific job, was not for you. Yours is coming. Keep applying. Don't give up. You will get that job that you want. Just keep pushing. But don't sit back and be that person who waits and says, oh no, but people don't tell us. And when there's posts, I've told so many people, every time there's a post, I'm even almost about to give up, because every time I tell people, here's a post, no, then you tell them, you know what they do? You come back a week later to the lab and, did you apply? Oh no, But what I always do is, I think sometimes people test you whether you will give them the information. I give the people the information that they're looking for, and then you can do what you want with it. You know what they do with the information I give them? Nothing. Zero. Nothing. They don't do anything with the information I give them. They just, and it just, what I've done for myself is, every person that comes in, I give them an equal opportunity and I give them the information that they're looking for. And I don't say, oh no, 10 people, 100 people before that didn't use the information. You are your own person. If you need the information, I will give it to you. It's you that decide what to do with it. You can't go and say, it's actually not even my responsibility to do that, but we do it, and it's still up to you. You still have to go onto that website. You still have to look every week, every day to check. Thank you so much. You still need to check. Gloria, amen to that. Yes, amen to that. And oh yes, motivation. Thank you so much. But you know what? I think we wait too long and we say, no, people are not giving us information. No one owes you that information. You want it, you go look for it. Absolutely. You go look for it. And please just don't sit back and say, oh, this is not for me. And I've also seen people who get demotivated. Like we were talking about mental health. When you're applying job applications and starting a business, it's not easy. Please just don't give up. Please don't give up. Just keep pushing. Don't give up, because it's difficult. No one said it's going to be easy. It's difficult. I've had so many failed businesses. It's not even funny. The first one that failed was Onyx Hair that I was doing at home, where I was selling hair, and I had to take it online for it to start selling. And so, it's really difficult. So you almost want to give up. I was so scared of going into another business after that. That's a whole live on its own. So we'll definitely talk about that another time also. But mental, if we all have different ways. If you are a person that meditates, meditate. If you are a person that prays, pray. If you're a person that needs quiet time, give yourself that quiet time. If you're a person who wants to phone a friend and talk, do that. But as we were talking now, I really do empathize with the medical technologist and everybody else that's going through a tough time right now. There's only two ways to make your money. You either increase your income or you reduce your expenses. So thank you so much. I'm going to wrap up this live, and I hope it was worth it. So thank you so much for joining. Do you guys have any questions before I close it off? So you have a quick Q&A, or are you guys all good? Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to be on Facebook at 6 p.m. And yeah, man. Oh my gosh, you've just joined us now. You've just joined, and we're wrapping up. We were talking about money and how to increase your salary and how to decrease your expenses. And again, so grateful and so humbled, and my empathy goes to all the medical technologists out there. Thank you so much, guys. So I'll see you again 6 p.m. and on Facebook. I will save this replay for you. I know you've just joined now, so you can catch it again. All right, thank you so much. Bye, guys.